This segment of DelmarvaLife is sponsored by AC Plant and Turf.
You might not think of it in this way, but your lawn is a living, breathing organism. It requires not only maintenance, but carefully created plans of action to ensure its health.
And whether it's your run-of-the-mill yard or a meticulously molded landscape, there are specific ways to guarantee growth for any and all properties. Richie Thurman is the owner of AC Plant and Turf, and he knows all about that, and we want to welcome you to Historic Studio D. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
All right, so let's talk about this time of year. What are the biggest issues you see in lawns in the summer like this?
Oh, well, this year I would say definitely is fungus. Yes, because we've had these really bad afternoon rains and then obviously a lot of heat. So I'd say it's probably one of the worst years for fungus that we've seen that is just devastating lawns. So people think it's drought, so they run their irrigation more, which just kind of makes the situation worse. So yes, we're seeing a lot of dieback in lawns this year, and yeah, that's I would say that's the biggest issue. Clients that we've had for years that aren't on a fungicide program all of a sudden have fungus. So it's definitely something that we're working on through this year. For
Sure.
Might explain what's going on with my lawn. Richie, can you talk about aeration and seeding?
Yeah, so we're coming up on, people aren't thinking about aeration seeding this time of year. Normally they start thinking about it in the spring, but the ideal time in this area to seed your lawn or to aerate your lawn is in the fall. So normally we start late August, early September. We plant cool season grass here. So we're kind of in this weird area where anything south of us is normally warm season grass, and then we kind of are in that cool season grass, which is your tall fescues and bluegrass. So it does not regenerate itself. So unlike warm season grass where it can just fill its own gaps, you have to plant new seed to get those gaps to be filled. And the best time to plant cool season grass is when things start cooling off. So when you start in September and into October, November, that gives it time to grow. So the time to really start looking at it now, if you're starting to see bare patches in your lawn, now's the time to start thinking about it, because what happens a lot of times is people think about it in the spring. It's not the best time to do the seeding. So this is the time we start telling clients, like, hey, you need to pay attention to your lawn. If you have weeds in the lawn too, it's because your lawn is thin. And whenever you have gaps in your lawn, it's never filled in with more grass. It's always going to be filled in with weeds. So the thicker we can make your lawn, the healthier we can make the lawn, the better it's going to do.
Well, can you overseed?
Yes. So a big part of our business is obviously, we are a plant and turf company. So we really focus on overseeding in the fall months. And that's going to help thicken up your lawn. That also gives you new grass. So typically people don't think about this, but your grass gets old and it doesn't produce as well. It's not as healthy the older it gets. So putting in fresh grass, new seed, and then having new grass push up every year is vital to keeping your lawn healthy.
So what kinds of equipment does your team use to make this all happen?
So there's a variety of different equipment, and I love buying toys. So we have a really wide range of it, from anything from a yard the size of this room, which is really small, which is walk behind equipment. And then we do HOAs and things like that. We even do sports fields. So then we have the large tractors with the large overseeders and the big aerators to do those. And then everything in between.
And you do large communities as well?
Yeah, so one of the big things is that people forget about this in communities as well. They do the treatment aspect of it, but hey, we need to revitalize your lawn. Sometimes that's just aerating, sometimes that's aerating and broadcast seeding, and sometimes that's just reseeding an area. So one of the things that communities can think about is that we're really good at is coming in and looking at it and breaking it down to, hey, you should do 100,000 square foot at a time, or do this area and that area. That helps with budgets, and it also helps constantly move the community in the right direction.
And do you guys do other types of landscaping besides plant and turf?
So we are a very niche business.
Okay.
So that is one of the things that people ask us all the time. They're like, well, you're really good at this. Why don't you plant trees, or why don't you do the landscaping, or why don't you cut down trees? And the reason we're really good at the two things that we do is because we only do the two things. So we've kind of had that mentality of be great at something and just stay continually focused. And I would say that really is what sets us apart. Most of the time when people think about plant care or they think about like turf applications, it's part of a landscape or a general tree care company. And because we make it our primary mission and it's the only thing we focus on, we like to think that we can do it a little bit better.
Yes, you can. Richie Thurman with AC Plant and Turf, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks, guys, for having me.